At the time when there is a controversy going on regarding the usage of E20 petrol, IIT Kanpur has published a report which says that E20 petrol does not affect the mileage of the car, and also it does not have much effect on the engine itself. Well, joining me is Professor Avinash Agarwal of IIT Kanpur, in which he is the founding mentor of Engine Research Lab. Let me just make it clear that he is right now the director of IIT Jodhpur, although he's in the capacity here itself of founding mentor of an Engine Research Lab in IIT Kanpur itself. So thank you for speaking to India today. My first question to you, this research has come at a very interesting time when we are seeing that there is controversy going on regarding E20 petrol. There is not much confidence in the people regarding the usage of E20 petrol. Sir, what does your research has actually found out, and what are the factors that you have kept in mind while making this research public?
Yeah, so Engine Research Lab, IIT Kanpur, has been engaged in engine and fuels research for 25 years now. And we work on variety of fuels, and ethanol is one of them. What we have done extensive research on E20 and E15 and also higher blends of ethanol in our laboratory. And we found that E20 is actually a very good fuel for IC engines. And it leads to improvement in thermal efficiency compared to gasoline. The factor that we need to take into account is that you have to understand that ethanol has about 35 weight% oxygen in its molecular structure. So the calorific value on a per liter basis is less than gasoline. It's about 30% less. The good part is that ethanol has much higher density compared to gasoline. Ethanol's density is about 0.795. Gasoline is about 710 to 770 grams per liter. So when you make a blend, you actually get about 5%, 20% blend of ethanol will have about 5% lower calorific value compared to gasoline. But the advantage of using E20 is that since there is fuel oxygen already in its molecular structure, when you burn it, the combustion efficiency is much better. And therefore, though the calorific value is less, the actual impact on the mileage will not be noticeable in most of the engines. It will be about 1 or 2% less, which hardly anybody will notice. And it is very, very important that now, in India, we should look at displacing the imported petroleum. Because just like Ajadi of people, Ajadi of energy is also very, very important. I think it's a very important and timely step for the nation to take.
Sir, there has been discussions and claims which says that by using E20 petrol, people are facing problems in their cars' engines, maybe emitting more carbon, or they are getting less average. We've also seen several videos that has surfaced from the petrol pump where the color of the E20 petrol is quite different from the color of the normal petrol. What are there any external factors that in fact changes the color of this normal petrol, or does bring a change in this very particular matter? And what do you have to say about these claims, which have been made by the public in this very particular case?
It's a very good question, and I would like to answer in 2-3 different ways. Number one, ethanol is a transparent fuel, just like water. You can't distinguish if you have a glass full of water and a glass full of ethanol. You can't distinguish between them. Whereas gasoline has certain color. So when you make a blend, obviously the E20 will have lighter color compared to the gasoline, 100% gasoline. 100% anyway, government is, no petrol pump gets 100% ethanol these days. So ethanol, E20 fuel is actually lighter. And you have to also understand that ethanol has only 2 molecules of carbon. 2 atoms of carbon, its molecular structure. Whereas gasoline has 7, 8, 10 different hydrocarbons. It's a multi-component fuel. So when you burn, actually the possibility of carbon formation is much higher in the gasoline compared to ethanol. So it is unbelievable. It's very difficult to believe that when you use E20, you will actually have more deposits. On the contrary, our experiments tell us very clearly that there is very low amount of hydrocarbon formation, very low amount of carbon monoxide formation, very low amount of deposits on the engines, very low amount of particulate matter or smoke coming out of the engines. Now the question is why people are facing these problems. So my explanation for this is that we have just started this E20 business very recently. In the ethanol, the problem comes when you have moisture content more than 0.8 to 0.9%. What happens when you have more than 0.8 to 0.9% moisture in the ethanol? It starts phase separation. That means the petrol and ethanol will separate from each other. When we use E20, the specification would probably be 99.9% or 99.8% purity. That's kind of ethanol that should be used. So my suspicion is that somehow the moisture may be ingressing through some of the supply routes or somewhere. And that might be the possible reason for some of these teething problems that people are experiencing in the beginning of it. And this is just a teething problem. This shall also pass, because now it is possible that, whoever is the supplier of the ethanol, maybe the moisture may be more than required there. Maybe in the distribution fuel pumps, there is a vent pipe which is connected to every tank of the gasoline distribution system, where there is a silica gel that is put. So maybe that silica gel may be saturated and air with moisture is entering the gasoline station. I mean the gasoline tank, and then that might be absorbed by the E20, and that might be causing all the problems. So one needs to actually investigate the cause of the issue. And once our distribution network identifies the issues and fixes this problem, I think all these small problems will go away. It also depends, engine's behavior also depends on the generation of the engine. For example, if you are having a Euro 2, Euro 3 kind of engine, which is mechanical or carburetor based engine, especially in the two-wheeler sector, they are tuned for gasoline. And now you're dealing with a fuel which is having slightly lesser efficiency. So you might experience marginal reduction in fuel economy, marginal reduction in acceleration characteristics can also be experienced. But if it comes to modern engines which are with the ECU, electronic control unit, they have a lot of sensors, a lot of actuators, they control the spark timing, etc. So in Euro 5, Euro 6 engines, this problem will not be there. In Euro 5, Euro 6 engines, there will be hardly any reduction in the power and torque, or even fuel economy, there will be unnoticeable change, if at all. So that's the factual situation as far as the experiments.
So what you meant to say, that technology is intact. What we need to do is bring in more regulations, or more monitoring or better training to the petrol, the people, so that these kind of small issues, whether it be of the moisture or something else, doesn't turn up. So thank you so much for speaking to us, Professor Avinash. So this was Professor Avinash Agarwal, under whom this whole study has taken place. So what he meant to say is that this whole technology is in place. It's better for, in fact, the mileage in the car in the upcoming future. But what we need to do is to regularize it regularly. The government need to put in better regulations, monitor the things clearly, and hopefully in the upcoming future we can have a better whole infrastructure which can in fact ultimately benefit the consumer itself. Thank you so much for talking to us.